Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. Today's video is going to be kind of a rant on my feelings about people in positions of power or people in offices within local government, whether it be county, city, whatever, who have access to money to use for their own personal gain, whether that be through theft or through just using it, just taking the money out and using it. Okay, my first gripe has to do with something that happened local. Someone just recently, this year I believe, got busted for spending or stealing over $700,000 within a 10-year time period, which means they stole anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000 a year at least. There was so much money sitting in an account to where this person was able to do this for 10 years and not get caught. Nobody noticed this money disappearing for 10 years. And finally some people started questioning bills and different things, and that's when this person finally got busted after they had already, I believe it was they stepped down and went somewhere else, and then finally people started backtracking and discovered that they had been stealing this money all this time. Yeah, I'm glad they're finally busted, and I'm glad they're finally paying for what they've done, because that just makes me sick. Makes me sick to know there's people out here busting their tail within this town with minimum wage jobs, and you got somebody in power or in a position to where they have access to taxpayer and business money, accounts, bank accounts, all this stuff, to where they can steal this money. And it makes me even sicker to know that this town has been sitting on that kind of money. God only knows how much total money this county has, to where they didn't even notice it. They didn't even notice that money was disappearing. And yet we got tore up roads. We've got a lot of things that need fixing, that need to be done in this town to make things better. There could be more recreational things built and done for this town to better the taxpayers, who have to live in this town. But yet nothing gets done, or it hasn't been until, recently I have noticed, I will say this, I have noticed things getting a little bit better within the last 2 or 3 years. There's been, a few companies coming in, blah, blah, and I hope it keeps up, and I hope we get a whole bunch of stuff going in this town. I would love to see it happen. But I'm just saying, it just makes me sick to know that there's people who are poor, who can't even afford their next meal, and they've been paying these taxes in, and it's been collected, and you got somebody who's already got a good paying job, sitting in an office on their butt, who has access to this money and was able to spend it, or steal it, and do what they want to, and live a nice life, and, their conscience didn't bother them so much to where they just kept doing it. It just, it sickens me. It just makes me angry. And I just, But now something else has gotten my attention. And this involves, I believe it's 4 from what I understood. Now, I don't have the whole picture. I'm sure there's a lot that I'm missing here. But I heard on the news the other day, and also I read an article or two, that there were some judges, I believe it was 4 judges in West Virginia, who they were, what do you call it? Crap, my mind went blank. Dadgummit. Anyway, they were judges, okay? It'll come to me probably when I get through the video, then it'll pop in my head. But they were judges, and they spent, between all 4 of them, they spent, I believe it was a total of $3 million for their own personal use. Their office renovations, their personal, government vehicles they got to drive home and they got to use for their own personal use. Office equipment, like computers and stuff like that. They took them home. They did whatever. They had all this access to all this stuff, and God only knows what else that money was spent on, and just written off as renovations and stuff like that. But still, it makes me sick to know that these judges who get paid well, you know, they get paid good money. If you're a judge, you're getting paid dang good money. Let's put it like that. Okay? And yet these people are using taxpayer dollars for stuff like that. That makes me sick. There are people living in squalor within this town or within this area of West Virginia, and you know it. There's, you know, they don't have, a lot of people there don't have good jobs. You know, $3 million could probably build 2 new buildings for companies to move into for people to have jobs. Oh my God. I mean, honestly, that's buildings. That's, you know, money that could be built up to pretty up a town to, you know, to coax businesses into that town. That's money for a park. That's money that can be used for so many things. And these people blew it on their office renovations. Does that not make you sick? I mean, it just... Oh, they were Supreme Court judges. That's what it was. Come to me finally. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I get like that. I get a little foggy brain here and there. But, yeah, Supreme Court judges within West Virginia. Oh, my God. You know, it just... That disturbs me. Do they not care? Do they not think about the poor taxpayers who have worked their butts off making minimum wage to pay this money in, and they've taken this money and just blew it? What do they think taxpayer dollars is for? Honestly, I want to know. What do county and, city and state officials think taxpayer dollars is? Do they think it's just a free bank account for them to take and just do whatever? I mean, do they not realize this is taxpayer money? This is supposed to be used for a social purpose. That's the whole purpose. Wasn't that supposed to be the whole purpose of taxes? Even though we know it's not. We know that it's just used, especially federal tax dollars. We know that's just to back up banks. I mean, that's a whole different thing right there. But it's under the guise of, or we're told that tax dollars are for the taxpayers. It's supposed to be used to help the taxpayer out. But it's not. I mean, they're just, you know, these government officials are just taking this money and squandering it. And, you know, that's not right. That's not fair. This money needs to go for what it was supposed to be used for. I want to see these dollars go for roads, for infrastructure, for buildings, building new buildings to, like I said, to create jobs, tax incentives to lure companies into an area, you know, to make things pretty within a town or an area. This money could be used for that stuff. And why isn't it? Why is it just sitting in a bank account just waiting for a judge or an office worker or somebody to get a hold of it and blow the heck out of it? I mean, that makes me sick to my core. And I just had to say something about it. But anyway, yeah, so what do you guys think about that? Does that not make you sick to your stomach, sick to your core to know that that's happening? And, you know, finally, after a few years, somebody speaks up about it, or 10 years, someone finally catches what's going on, that it takes that long? Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.